We're going to Formula Drift Japan, you guys. We got the whole front end cut off. Oh! Then we got the nitrous bottle. Everything is like on order. All right, welcome back to the R32 build, you guys. The major fabrication on the vehicle is done. That doesn't mean that there's no fabrication left. There's plenty left. But the cage is done, the front tube is done, the rear tube is done. At this point, it's kind of doing bash bars and kind of hanging body panels and stuff like that, and then really diving in on wiring and plumbing and all that stuff. Which you guys might be like, why are we looking at plumbing right now? Why? Well, to do like the plumbing and wiring properly in race car style, there's actually some fabrication required. So for the wiring, we're actually gonna have tabs laid down that will zip tie all the wiring to, so it's done super clean. We don't have to use like Odell clamps or anything like that. Same as the plumbing. The plumbing will have kind of a rear structure where it passes through the cabin. So Jim was kind of sorting all that stuff down to kind of see what last little fabrication we need to do for that stuff, and then kind of go from there. So let's dive into this thing. Well, since the last episode, JMO's already done a couple pretty cool little things, so I want to show you guys that stuff. So it's pretty dope. So it's all got Zeus clips on it, so we can just pull that off. The reason that I kind of had to do it like this is it's really the only way to get the transmission out because of this crazy, I don't even know what you call that, like the whole shifter mechanism. It's like way offset and angled, so we'll have to pull that panel off, but it's really easy. It's just those 4 Zeus tabs. That's super clean. Won't allow any fire in or anything like that. Moving on to the front end, not a whole lot has changed. We've done a lot of planning here, but there is something super sick. Let me try to do this. Oh, how sick is that? So it's got the whole hood cut out for the front of the RV. I think on a factory hood, what do you think, James? On a factory hood, it would like almost clear.
It would be very close.
But it's honestly sick because like, I don't know if you want to say it became known for that or whatever, but it's been part of our kind of style of the builds. And so when we saw that this was kind of necessary, we were actually both pretty stoked because it kind of goes with the whole thing, showing off, you know, what we're running under the hood. And then last but not least, look at the freaking wastegate dump.
Dang, that's tough.
So it's full titanium. This is where the old dump came out, so we'll fiberglass that over and plug it up. And then this whole hood will get like refinished, but it looks so sick. I love it. I think it looks freaking sick. Oh, also, battery box and fire suppression bottle. That's pretty much the quick update to this point. From here on out, it's plumbing, wiring, starting to mount like headlights, taillights, all that fun stuff. So let's get some work done.
All right, so we've got this really nice fireproof Joe's Racing little cover here, and they all come with this little mounting kit. So unfortunately, this isn't quite right for the offset on here, and it really won't sit down on the back of this. It's too tight back here, so I need to actually stand this up so I can move it back. So I'm building this fancy little step here, and I need to put 2 little side pieces here so that this will actually sit right here to kind of put our nice little cover here.
Fancy.
No more side to side anymore. It's just.
All right, JMO polished up this transmission tunnel whole unit deal thing, and it looks freaking sick. Oh baby. Shifter pops up through there, nice.
Let me show you quick.
What are you showing? You know, we always talk about certain things and like they're normal to us, I guess. And so like comment below if you guys like haven't ever heard of these things or seen them before, because like this is pretty cool. The first time I saw these, I was blown away. Check this out.
Yeah, so these are Zeus buttons
Show 'em the
and
tool
tabs. They come with basically this weird rounded white or wide flathead screwdriver. Basically they're quarter turn fasteners. So they literally take a quarter of a turn and they release. Now, this isn't really good, so.
Oh, what on there? Just assembling everything.
I know. And so this should.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
this pull completely off like that. And everything's internally welded, so it'll be nice and seamless when it's all powder coated.
But yeah, that'll allow us, that's pretty quick, and that allows us to drop the transmission down, get access to anything in there, and
keeps the fire out.
it's on, keeps the fires out. We're not gonna have any fires, but keeps them out. Okay, so with
Dreams.
there's still obviously some fabrication work that needs to be done, but one of the things that we're doing is we're actually, all the plumbing and wiring are gonna be like fabbed in essentially, and that's kind of required with race cars. We're gonna take it to a little different level though. Where are those freaking thingies? I'm so excited about this. So, I don't know how well you guys can see that, but they're essentially like weld-on zip tie mounts. So that's part of the reason why we definitely wanna get all the plumbing and wiring at least like laid out, so then we can see kind of where these are gonna go before the chassis gets powder coated. But just so you guys kind of see how it works.
The trick to these fancy guys is they have this slot on the end.
They're so tiny. There you go. Oh, it's a good look.
And then it has a slot down here as well. And it allows the zip tie to come in through the bottom and through the top and hold basically wiring, you know, tubing, things like that. We're gonna be running wiring underneath here, so it's gonna go right here, get tacked in, and then you can run the zip tie through both at the same time, and it'll hold it nice and stable there.
This just, it's a little more work on the front end, but at the end, all you do is literally clip zip ties. You can take plumbing and wiring out, zip tie them back up. It's honestly pretty freaking sick, so. All right, so kind of one of the next steps on this thing was to start figuring out bash bars and kind of final mounting of headlights, taillights, trunk, and body kit. Check this out. What? So sick. We're running just a fiberglass trunk, same rear and front fenders that we had on the car beforehand. These are like the only really like non-Rocket Bunny super wide fenders, and the Rocket Bunny are just like crazy, crazy wide. For the body kit, we only have the rear bumper on here so far, but it's BN Sports. This is the same wing we had on the Laurel, so it's a super made drag wing called the Mighty Boy. JMO kind of hung everything up there so he could start building bash bars and figuring out kind of how, well, we already kind of knew how we were gonna do everything, but you know, actually starting to do it. So here's the rear bash bar, the actual like center part. So there's a centerpiece, and then there's two kind of like C-shaped ones for the corners.
So these will kind of be here, welded and then boxed in. The bolt hole will be drilled in the top, all the way through this square tubing to the bottom. Nice long bolt will go all the way through there, and tighten these down. And in an impact, it gives it a little bit of wiggle room.
As we were saying earlier, there'll be a corner one on each side too.
Yeah, there'll be
So that creates like an
a
entire
point here, and it'll come out, come back here, bend, come back around here, and then bend in and hit here in the center, both of them. So
I just wanted to point out we are not running these wheels. We actually got brand new wheels being built right now by SK Forge. We did a sick collab with them. Aaron will drop those on screen, but stay tuned on those. You guys will actually be able to buy them for yourselves. We're not getting rid of the works, but they're not being ran on this car. They served us well, but it's time to step our game up a little bit. It's like really starting to feel like a car now. It's crazy. Obviously, one of the last kind of things we're missing for driver control is the handbrake. We're gonna do a katana, so we'll have that kind of right here. It's stoked. I'm super pumped up. There's gonna be a lot of changes come the next episode. Bash bars, body kit hung, all sorts of crazy stuff. So stay tuned. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If this is the first episode you saw, watch the past ones so you can get caught up, and we'll see you guys in a couple days. Peace. That sounds good.